Greetings, fellow traders. Let me get this tweeted out here so everybody can join in. 1 second. All right. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, I hope everybody had a great trading day today. So, what a wild day today. Today was kind of like a wild Wednesday. So, pretty cool stuff. Everybody had a great trading day today. And anyway, so today we're going to be continuing our conversation on tracking this week's Elliott wave. And so they're definitely giving us a job this week, right? It's not super straightforward. Right? We're getting some really interesting price action right here, but it's good that we're going through this so you guys can see that multiple wave counts often can lead to confusion, right? Like lack of confidence in where the market's going, right? Because we can see multiple possibilities right here. That's why it's tough to really be super confident, right, in the wave steps unless we're in a truly beginning move. And one of the big things we're going to talk about today too is the fact that we are looking at a wave 5. But before we get started, everything we're going to talk about is for educational purposes only and not investment advice. So please take a moment to review this disclaimer. Oh wait, what did I? Oh, there they are. Okay, I was like, what happened to the features? So everything's for education purposes, only, not investment advice. So good stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look and see where we left off in the market here today, and then we are going to take a look at the futures and see what we're up to or down to here this evening, and then we are going to take a look at the topic, and then we'll go through questions and chart requests. So let's get started. All right, so SPX, whew, the monthly chart. I mean, we're only 3 days into the month, right? So 3 days into the week, 3 days into the month, and already the monthly chart is kind of looking a little bit blah, right? So we had a couple upper shadows here off of these levels, right? So off of the upper Bollinger Band, and now we're kind of coming into last month's real body, right? So we need to see how we hold that. The weekly chart's still an inside week. It was looking like it might try to give a quick push up there to the all-time highs, but still just kind of giving us this groggy inside week feel. And when we look at the daily chart, right, we had an inside day yesterday, and like we talked about, we said it's very important to keep an eye on these levels. Take a look more at the Elliott wave here in a little bit. But these levels, right, we ended up taking the inside day down and getting to the 50-day moving average. So pretty interesting stuff there. Let's take a look at the intraday price action. So look at this. We got almost some straight follow through here from yesterday's down move, and we'll take a little bit more of a look at this here and see what may be setting up with this. But we got a little bit of a rally off of that. We got over the ADMA and just couldn't get any follow through with it, and then some more downside action today. So that was kind of blah. Let's take a look at the futures and see what we're up to or down to here this evening. So futures a little bit red, but it looks like they're trying to make a little bit of a rally right here. We've got an old signal zone down here. This is from let's see how far away is this. Let me hover over this right here. How old is this signal zone? Hold on. There. This is from February 2nd. So this is an old level here. This is old, signal zone of ours. So we are starting to bounce off of that a little bit this evening. But again, if we stay under the ADMA, we might come and work our way down here. And maybe we'll see if we fill this old gap here from early February, which would be pretty interesting. So that's been a while. In the meantime, a couple things that we pointed out today in the group, right? Of course, heading into the open, we were triangulating here on the market today. We were up about like 20 points or so, but it was still a tight range, right? Because this was right off of a major geometric line that we had prior. And then when we lost that, we had kind of some rough job numbers this morning, right? We lost that here pre-market, and then we got a little follow through into the open, a little bit of a rally, and then some more downside on that. So pretty interesting stuff there. But yeah, so still holding the signal zone now. Let's see if we can get above that. A couple geometric lines that we'll track going into this evening. And then tomorrow, of course, here, right? That's kind of the main one right there that we'll keep an eye on for tonight. So good stuff. All right, so good. So let's get to it. So this week we've been talking about tracking. We've been tracking this week's Elliott wave on the market and using the specifically using the SPX. And so let's take a look. Let's take a look at it and see where we're at. So what we've been talking about, what we've been covering is the is that we could have two counts right now, right? We could have a bullish count, we could have a bearish count. Let's go back to the SPX, sorry. So we got a bullish count, we got a bearish count, and the bullish count is struggling to keep us interested, right? Because it keeps on pulling back, right? So we like to see follow through to the upside. A couple of things I don't like about this pullback, right, is the ADMA is now starting to kind of curl its way down, right? So that's a little bit kind of blah, right, to show that there's a little bit of a pullback going on right here. So we'd like to see that kind of work its way back up. Now, one of the things before we get started here today, one of the things that's really important to do is to look and see where we're at overall, right? What the macro picture is, right? And so one of the big things. You can kind of label this any way you want to. Some folks label this wave 1, this is ABC wave 2, this wave 3, ABC wave 4. I think that ended up intersecting that level right there, though, so it might not have been a 32, 33, 94. No, they actually didn't intersect. So either way, however you want to label it is fine. But ultimately, I'm looking at a 1, 2, 3, and then this is a clear A, B, C, right? So we make that the wave 4, and then we're kind of looking at this larger wave 5 up right here. So the thing is, the wave 5s are the trickiest ones to trade, right? Because you never know when this thing's going to end, right? Or if it's going to keep continuing, right? So it's possible, like we said, that wave 5 could be done up here. We're actually starting a bearish move to the downside. But a couple things that we have going for us is we're still holding the upward trend line, we're still holding the cloud, and we're still back to the 50-day moving average. So let's kind of zoom in on this a little bit again here and take a look at the what we were looking at today as a potential bullish count. So again, this was clearly an impulsive wave up, right? So the real question is, right, whether if that is the end of wave 5 right here, or if it's the start of a larger wave up to make a larger wave 5 up here. So we're assuming this is wave 4 finish right here of this last move, and we're looking for kind of basically a wave 5 of 5 to see where we go here with the market. So again, this move down here, again, we thought this was the original ABC and that we were going to get an impulse wave up here, but it turns out that was potentially just a pullback here on an AB. Right, so we kind of have this ABC down, ABC up, and then what we're looking for is we can kind of count a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in here to say this is wave C finish, right? To give us the wave 2, right? So that where does that put us, right? So it puts us here after the move up, right? It brings us to, you go to Fibonacci's right here, it goes here to here. That brought us right to the 618 before we bounced, and that was last Friday, right? So that was that gave us a nice bounce into this week. And what I liked about it too, right, is that we also had this 618 bounce, and then we had a subwave bounce right here, this wave 2. This was also a 618 golden zone retrace in here on the end of the day on Friday, and then we launched into Monday, right, and got a nice push up right here. So what we found today is that based on this pullback right here is that what probably happened is that this was a 1, 2, and you can kind of see a little 3, 4 pullback right here, because if you look at this wave right here, right, it was pretty close to the 2, 3, 6, not right there, but 3, 4, and then 5, finishing up the wave right here. So that was basically a sub wave 1. Right, so what we were thinking now is yesterday we kind of had this ABC move. So the question is whether or not we were going to hold this 382, but not this 382, this 382, right, for wave 4, right? So we thought wave 4 was going to kind of be finished like right around this area. We closed below it, so we were a little bit concerned going in today that there might be some more downside follow through, that we were actually working on a larger wave 2 move. And so if we look at the larger wave 2 move, this was wave 1 of 5 up, and this is wave 2. What we were thinking is that we were going to bounce off of the 618 for a wave 2 move and really get going. Okay, so we kind of started to label it here today. We had this A, B, C move right here. We were kind of hoping that this thing was going to go, right? That it was going to, this was it. This was the wave 3 up, but it just didn't get any follow through today. And then we got the downside move here at the end of the day. So it's kind of making it a little bit sketchy, right? So does that mean wave 2 is invalidated? No, right? Because remember the rules of Elliott wave. As long as wave 2 doesn't go past the start of wave 1, it still could be a valid wave 2. So what we're going to do is we're going to activate this here for the bullish count, and we're going to bring it down here to the macro upper trend line, right? We're going to make sure this holds, right? And so as long as this holds, right, we can still try to keep our bullish count. And if it holds into tomorrow, right, that's still pretty good, right? So we bounce off the upward trend line and things get going again, and we just don't have to worry about we're good, right? Everything is awesome, right? So we'll kind of hope that's the case, right? So if that is the case, great. We'll continue to track those waves up, and this is sort of an A, B, and just a larger impulsive wave down to finish wave C, right? 3, 3, 5. So good stuff there. Now let's take a look at the alt count and see how that's looking. So let's go here. So let's go to where I have this here. So default to, I had that in here. There we go. So this is basically saying, okay, wave 5 is done up here. This was it. This is the market top, 39.50.43, and we're starting a bearish countdown, right? So we had, kind of a sharp move down right here. So this could be your wave 1, right? Here's your wave 2 retrace, right? So from here to here, right? So that was right into the 786, 886 pocket, right? And then it worked its way back down again pretty sharply, right? And then up again pretty sharply too. So okay, that didn't quite intersect that, right? So it could be a 1 2 1 2, and that was also right off of the 886. So what we're seeing here is a 1 2 1 2, and with today's price action, it is possible that we could continue our way down. So where are we going to know that this is the case? Well, we're going to assume that it's the case if we cross down below this wave right here, right? Because if that was our original start of a wave one up, and we get below that, it invalidates that wave count, and we either have to rework our bullish wave count to see if there's another wave count possible, or we're gonna have to try to ride this wave down, right? And which means that this may be a larger corrective wave. So what we're saying here is that wave 5 could be done, and we might be looking at a larger A, B, C type move down, and then we might start going up again. So again, it's all about, let's see how we hold the trend line here tomorrow. Let's see how how these levels hold. Let's see how we hold the start of this wave right here. If we have a massive gap down tomorrow, right, that like down in this area right here, we start to go, things could get really ugly really quickly, right? We haven't really seen a lot of sharp selling. We've seen some okay selling, but we really haven't seen a lot of sharp selling. We've seen some kind of like, some decent retraces, things like that. We haven't seen like, right, some big moves like this one, right? We've just seen so a couple little moves, a little bit choppy, a little kind of grindy type stuff. So we'll see how it goes going in tomorrow. It should be a very, very interesting day tomorrow, an interesting week. Oh, and don't forget, Powell talks tomorrow. So let's see what he's got to say. Maybe he could shake things up again a little bit, or maybe he'll give it a little bit of irritable Powell syndrome. So we'll see where we go from there. Anyway, good stuff, guys. Hopefully you found that helpful. At this point, if anybody has any questions or chart requests, please feel free to plug those in the chat window, and we'll get through as many as we can, try to wrap up as early as possible, so we can all get another good night's sleep and have another awesome trading day tomorrow. So good stuff. So Shirley sent a few in here via email. Shirley, hope you're doing great out there. Let's take a look at a couple of these names and see what we've got. So going to the daily chart, let's take a look at work. Okay, so work, is an acquisition target, right? So this was they're being bought out by CRM. So this makes it tough to really trade. This has been a tough name to trade anyway, back when it was work, but now it's going to become part of CRM. So just kind of keep an eye out. We're below the 50-day, we're below the 80 MA. Might want to work its way down to this. It might just kind of drift its way down to the pitchfork bottom on that one there too. J&J, vaccine news and all that good stuff. So how's J&J handling all that news? Oh, I guess bearish. So we've got that going on here. So recent wave up, right? So we've got this going on here. Here's your trend line. We confirmed below that a couple days ago, right? Then a couple choppy sideways price action, and then that retrace right there at the 80 MA, and then down, right? So we'll see if we can continue to work our way down right here. But basically, I'm looking at it as kind of like a short-term kind of downtrend type move right here. So see how that goes here for J&J, unless we can get back over the downward trend line. So good stuff there. ATVI, again, the video game industry here. So it's been pretty active recently. Gave a big push up there, and then just kind of looks like a kind of like an ABC-ish type move. Watch for the symmetrical move here. Watch for the symmetrical move here. It does kind of look zigzag-ish. Oh, just didn't let me grab it. That's all. Here, back into the cloud, and see how that holds there for ATVI. So good stuff there. Dkng. We haven't looked at this one in a while. So Tdoc, wow, this thing tends to like to bounce. It likes to go up, down, up, down, up, down. This thing's still going down right here, and under the 200-day with increasing volume today as the market continues this this sell-off in mostly the tech sector here. So here's the Qs. Again, now the Qs confirmed under some crazy levels right here. So let's take a look here. Let's zoom out of the Qs, and I'm going to do a clean chart on this one because I don't really this one as much. So we got this right here. So we got the Corona crash lows, right, back from 2020. Here's your highs. Here's your macro trend line on the Qs. So a little bit different, right? So we had a trend box on that, and we actually confirmed below it today, which means that technically the Qs confirmed below their trend box today with increasing volume here below the cloud, which means we are in a fresh downtrend in the tech sector. So in the NASDAQ. So here's your trend line. Again, bearish until proven otherwise now on the Qs. And can that bring the market down? Sure, yeah. I mean, this is an entire sector, right, which has a lot of weighting too on the S&P. So we'll keep an eye on that as well. Pretty scary stuff off of today's move. So we'll see what we get going into the future. So we got that going there. Thanks, Shirley. Thanks for all those requests. I really appreciate it. James, what's going on? Bada bing, bada boom. I love it. Good to see you. Mike, what's happening? CCL, can you believe this monster? Unbelievable. the entire market is crashing, and CCL is up, and Boeing's up, and the banks are up today. It's like, what's going on? So CCL with a gap up to incredible move, right? Beautiful, right? This is what we were kind of tracking it this morning. The price action wasn't easy at a day trade, but a nice gap over that pennant right there. So still continuing to work its trend up. Like I said, you had a little bit of a move at the open. It's kind of grindy stuff here today, but it is up and it's green. So imagine that, Carnival Cruise. So I think what was happening yesterday is there was a big crackdown. They were talking about crackdown on tech. Government crackdown on tech, and so but simultaneously there was like some hope out there on like Lyft was having more lifts, more rides than ever since the pandemic, right? Kind of showing a lot of recovery type stuff, right? So a lot of the old names that used to get beat up are starting to get some action today. Off the usual go-to list there for the Corona crash. So a lot of these were showing some relative strength today, which is pretty cool. So CCL and then Boeing. So Boeing was guys, this is on my bearish radar going in today, and it just did the opposite today. So it was just it got real tight right here. It was looking really tight, contraction to expansion. I thought it was going to at least come down and tag the ADMA, but it just decided to rip here this morning, and that's where you just kind of have to switch gears and be like, okay, what's really going on with this? Oh, this thing's working its way up. So it's kind of had a mini bull flag into the open, kind of broke out there, and gave another flag right here out of the 15-orb high and kind of did good. But then it did what it usually does. It likes to do these kind of massive reversals during the day. So kind of a double top here with the shooting star off of the highs, and kind of giving you a big upper shadow here off the daily chart. So it makes it a little bit tough, but we might get some grindy action over the next couple days. So just kind of keep an eye on it there. So good stuff. Michael, what's going on? SLGG, GameStop buyout rumors. No kidding. Super League Gaming. That is amazing. So big, that's hilarious. So anyway, big gap up there today, and after hours, wow, even up here after hours too. Look at that thing, still going after that crazy candle today. So wow. So we'll see how that goes here. So shares move esports company, not seeing news. But yeah, interesting on the GameStop. That would be pretty wild if they were trying to buy them out. Sweet for 5:30. Nice. So yeah, that's great. Well, it's up nicely after hours. Let's see if we get some follow through on that one. Looks like you'll be up early tomorrow. I know exactly. I hear it's a bull market somewhere. I love it. Good stuff. Tommy, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. UWMC. Let's take a look. UWMC. Woo! Big gap up here today, and kind of a nasty reversal there. So kind of back in range right here. See how it holds. It might find this yesterday's closing level is some support, so just kind of see how that holds. See what is happening. So Tommy, yeah, also GME. Yeah, a lot of the meme stocks started pushing up a little bit after hours here today. So you got a little bit of a pop here after hours and kind of calming down a little bit. Just looks like they're trying to go for the squeeze action again. I think algos are kind of playing that game now too. So good stuff. Yeah, Nasdaq just rough. Just rough on the NASDAQ. So, Robbie, what's going on? Let's take a look at SE. So, SE, let's see. So, we've got inside day, but still holding the ADMA on that one, so let's see how that can hold right there. Again, it was a green day for it, so that's good. Let's see if we take the inside day up. And then Tdoc, let's take a look. Tdoc, again, this thing has just gotten really beaten up here. I know it had a nice breakout recently, good bull flag breakout. Another pullback right here. It kind of worked its way up, and then it's kind of worked its way down. So a little bit rough there, but nasty candle today, guys, under the 200-day moving average. This makes it really, really tricky right here, and I think it's even under this geometric line right here, which is an important one, and kind of below there. So any push below today's lows, just kind of watch out for that. Okay, so good stuff there. Otherwise, look for some support maybe in that 180 area. Brandon, what's going on? Good to see you. ONTX, let's take a look. So ONTX, kind of a penny name right here, but we've talked about this one before. Nice triangle breakout recently. Really, really good move there on volume. Now it's kind of pulling back here, right? So just kind of keep an eye on your geometric lines. It might be doing like a little bit of a falling wedge type thing, so see if you see any volume getting out of that range. So that could be an interesting one as well. Tommy, yeah, Buzz. So this is the new ETF, right? Isn't this it? This is the one? I'm not sure how they did right here. So the new Buzz. I'm not sure if this is officially open yet, or they're just kind of using an old name. But yeah, keep an eye on this one here too. It's the new Portnoy ETF on stock hype names. I think a really good technique is just to kind of keep track this one here and see what's being added to the ETF to kind of show you what's hot out there. So that could be an interesting one as well. Says it all. Let's take a look at AESE. So big upper shadow off of that one. Big volume today. So a little bit of a move there, but if it does pull down off of that shooting star, watch for a tag of the ADMA on that one. RSI. What's the RSI on RSI? Rest Street Interactive. So kind of a doji there below the ADMA. So it could be grinding right there. Yeah, I mean, it could be working on a couple different things. Kind of looking a little bit bear flaggish here. right? So just kind of see how it holds. It kind of takes that that doji down. And then HAVLF, let's take a look. Yeah, so really, really tight range right here, right? So you can definitely see even from these levels right here. So you got this, and you got this. So look for any sort of volume breakout one way or the other on that. Great stuff. Fabio, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Yeah, let's take a look. Thanks for the kind words. Let's look at SUNW. So SUNW, let's take a look. So we've got SU Sudden Work. So we are kind of grinding here still, looking a little bit pennant-ish, right? Kind of almost bear pennant, right? So you kind of have this type of move right here. So see if it breaks down there with volume, right? And then look for a potential symmetrical move down, maybe the 200-day moving average. Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks so much. Michael, inverse cup and handle on the SPY daily chart. Yeah. Like this inverse cup and handle on this. Yeah, so you got this cup, right? Cup, handle, and you kind of got this going on. So see how that holds right there. I know. Looking a little bit rough there. Hard to see. Let's see if we can hold those lows of the week here, and if we can kind of bounce our way up and maybe get that larger wave 5 up, which would be pretty cool. So I'm still leaning that way until it confirms out. I'm still holding the bullish count because we've been working so hard on it and gotten this far. So let's see if it's continuing to grind its way up. So good stuff there. Yeah, Powell's talking tomorrow. They will flush the trend line and rally it. So go Bulls. Nice, exactly. Yeah, so we'll see how it goes right there. The sound effects are epic. I love it. So good. GG, what's going on? Good to see you. Let's take a look at Apple. So apples and bananas here. Apple's in a fresh downtrend. So it was good. It gave us a nice bullish. We were looking for a relief bounce this week, and we got it. And it got all the way to the downward trend line right now. We're back down today on some volume. It could be working on kind of a bearish type flag here too, as it is now below 2 downward trend lines. Right. So Apple has shifted trends. So pretty cool stuff there. Shiab, what's going on? Good to see you. NRGU. Let's take a look. NRGU. Yeah, this one's Bank of Montreal. Y'all asked about this one recently and gave a pretty good move. So let's see how it's doing right here. This. Good. So it's holding this macro trend line. And you got this. I wish it was holding that as a geometrical line, but it's hanging on. It's hanging on there. So definitely want to keep an eye right here. Let's see if we can push over these recent highs and keep going. So good stuff there. Yeah, nice one there. And then BNKU. Let's take a look at this one. Okay, so another Bank of Montreal 3x leverage GTN. So so this one's getting pretty hot here too. So we got this here. So basically just still kind of grinding here, kind of channeling up. So definitely keep an eye. Just watch that trend line, see if it breaks down on that. So good stuff. Dustin, what's going on? Good to see you. Let's see what we got here. Oh, I lost you there a second ago. Where'd you go? There you go. So yeah, you got a couple of there. Let's take a look at Tilray. Let's take a look at that. So Tilray. Again, pot sector was pretty decent the other day, but back below the 80 MA shooting star from yesterday. So it could be working on a little bit of a bear flag here as well. So just kind of keep an eye on that, see if it breaks down below today's lows with any sort of authority. PLTR. Okay, so this one got meme named by CNBC. So this one is up after hours right here. I believe the news was Kathy Wood's ARK Invest post fund purchases. So they're buying PLTR, and CNBC also was high after hours because CNBC said PLTR is the next Reddit stock. So they said go for this one. So anyway, maybe they're all in it, trying to push these things together. But let's see how it goes tomorrow. Again, still into the 80 MA. Let's see where we gap up. We can push up over today's highs, maybe get over this downward trend line. Things could get interesting for PLTR. So good stuff there. QS has definitely been on the bearish radar here this week. This is one of our breakdown candidates, and we're starting to see that right now. So under the 80 MA on this one as well. So good stuff there. And then Dkng, let's take a look. Yeah, Dkng, whew, good grief. We had a nice gap up today and then a quick bearish engulfing candle today. So, wow, that one goes on the bearish radar for tomorrow, too. That's a bearish engulfing candle. That's nasty. NNDM, let's take a look. NNDM, let's see if we can get the data. There we go. Okay, so obviously the pullback was invalidated the other day that we were looking for over the weekend, and this thing is still working. It's kind of a trend down. We also talked about it as a possibility, right? Because there's your A, B, and kind of a 1, 2, 3, 4, and we might be in a fifth wave down right now that we're below the daily cloud there. So Fubo, again, kind of a wild name right there. This one was got beat up pretty hard today after earnings, right? So really was seeing if they were going to try to hold it and reverse it today, but the market weak. This is just one that people just didn't want to own today. And so meme name, so it was up after hours as well, but kind of already has retraced a little bit there. So held that geometric line here so far, right, between these lows, right? So we could also kind of keep an eye on this one right here too, kind of right at it, right? So just kind of see if it holds these lows here today. Otherwise, if it breaks down below there, we might see it start to work its way down too. It's fresh 200-day moving average. So we got that going on there on Fubo. So good stuff there. Yeah, my pleasure. Samir, what's going on? Good to see you. Yeah, Twitter. So Twitter popped up a couple times here today with some bearish action. Double inside day down and then some follow through. So keep an eye on that one there too. Good job if you were able to catch that down. I know Michael mentioned it the other day. Here you got kind of this double pause day off of the inside day and rejected the EDMA here on net, and that kind of broke down too, but not a lot of volume, so there's a little bit of hope there. Yeah, I'll take some sick leave tomorrow. I love it. So Michael, CCJ was like, yay, no, yay. Let's take a look. So CCJ, yeah, I know, just kind of crazy stuff. It's like, yay, I'm a, yay, no, yay. It's hilarious. So wild names here on the uranium names. So good stuff right there. So T, yeah, the 25.5 Cs. Let's take a look at those here and see how they're looking at here this evening. So T, looking pretty decent right here. Let's see if we can get any strength here going into tomorrow. Again, I didn't see how hard it pulled back into the close here off the 50-day, but let's see if we can try to get back above it and maybe work its way up to the cloud and the downward trend line on that. So we'll see where we go from there on T. And then TRCH. So TRCH. Torchlight. Inside day here below the ADMA and just kind of chopping around there after hours to see what kind of action we get there, Brandon, off of those inside day levels. Ron, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Let's take a look at Plug. So Plug. Yeah, decent little bounce right there, right? And then off of the ADMA and got some downside fall through here with some increasing volume. So at this point now, we're kind of holding some levels. Just see how it holds there. If not, right, look for a potential test of these levels right here. And we still have, I think, a little bit of an open gap below that it may want to test. So we got that going on there as well. And of course, Neo, again, still continuing to work its way down, guys. Let's kind of take a bigger picture here at Neo. This thing has been just kind of wild forever, right? I mean, you can kind of look at it still holding its macro trend lines here. You can kind of look at it as it lost its bump trend line recently, confirmed below it. So just trying to see how it handles these geometric lines right here. Maybe it'll find some support there at the 200-day if this thing really wants to go down. Fubo, let's take a look. Again, same thing here, kind of a rough move after yesterday's Hanging Man candle into earnings, right? So again, see how it holds this geometric line. Any further breakdown, right, might start to make a move to the 200-day. So good stuff there. Brandon, ATNX, let's take a look. What? I know, exactly. So, 18x inside day down, nasty, just nasty. I mean, just nasty. The huge gap down. Oh, just rough. That's brutal. So, Michael, so the meme ETF has Facebook and Amazon and ExxonMobil in it. Fake news porno. Exactly. WSB is shaking their heads. They sure are. That's really sad. It's like, what is this? This is well, they're the most talked about names. It's okay, cool. It sounds like. Sounds like a regular portfolio. So anyway, good stuff right there. SPY wave 5 downward is in the making, very possible on that one too. So a little bit of a relief bounce around the ES here this evening. And James Penn, I love it. Let's take a look here. So Penn National Gaming, we are at just like kind of a little bit of reversal here of a spinning top. So kind of a nasty day here with increased volume below the ADMA right here. Still kind of a choppy range. But if it does work its way down, right, we do have that prior megaphone right here, which could be a potential target if we lose the 50-day moving average eventually. So that's something to keep an eye on there too. Prasad, yeah, let's say we get Baidu. So Baidu's been a hot one recently. So Baidu. Ooh, bearish engulfing candle on that one too. So a little bit rough there on Baidu. So let's see if it gets any follow-through. You got your 50-day moving average right below it. So Suyak, all penny stocks going back to pennies. I hear that. And Brandon, you got one here too. Let's take a look at Iterium. Iterium Therapeutics. Okay, so we got two things that are tough to trade right here. It's a penny stock and some biotech, right? But keep an eye on right here. It's kind of holding the cloud in the 50-day. Maybe it'll try to give a little bounce off of those levels. So good stuff, guys. I really appreciate everybody for tuning in. I hope everybody enjoyed is enjoying this series here on tracking this week's Elliott wave, and you're finding it helpful. I really appreciate everybody for being here. I appreciate the questions and the chart requests. We'll see you guys tomorrow bright and early for our bubble report members. We do our bubble report. We put that out every morning before the market open, usually by 7:30 Eastern time, and usually before 7:30 Eastern time. And we get a good prep on the market and show stocks that we're looking at in the group. And of course, you can upgrade there or just join our Discord group, which includes the bubble report. And so we'll see all y'all bright and early tomorrow. And even if you're not in that group, we'll still see you here on YouTube and in the private Twitter for the Good Morning Market Prep video to give a nice move there. Oh, SOS, David, what's going on? Good to see you. Let's take a quick look here at SOS. Wow, SOS had a pretty good day here today, so up 20% here. So let's see if we can continue to get some follow through on that one as well. So that gave a couple nice moves here today for a nice pop right here, and then another nice pop here before just kind of calming down there. But good stuff there. Great volume today, the largest volume day yet. So very, very good stuff. Anyway, guys, I really appreciate everybody. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe on YouTube. And whether you're new here or not, please hit the like button. It goes a long way. And even if you're watching the recording, hit the like button. We always appreciate that too. So thanks, guys. We'll see you guys bright and early tomorrow. Till then, stay healthy out there. And remember your risk first and stay safe so you can stay in the game. And we'll talk